SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Does that tree have you worried? Want to get it cut down before the next storm? You need to call Max Tree Service and Land Management for your free estimate. Don't wait till it's too late. Call us today at 601-695-1717 or check us out on Facebook. Max Tree Service.
Oh, the Happy New Year! I didn't stay up late enough to bring it in, but I understand it did come on in. Yeah. But I tell you what, I would appreciate if one of you guys would come by the house and help me move the Christmas tree back to the closet.
Well, I think you need to get the same person who would help you get it out of the closet to help you move it back in the closet.
So you're saying Richard's going to help me, not you?
It must be, because I'm not. It's up to Richard. You happy?
Well, if he'd take me to eat and give me some drink, we might work something out.
That will work every time in this group. We'll all show up for that, no doubt about it. Well, guys, glad to be back on Chasing Foul Balls here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. It was a tough week, to say the least, for our Chasing Foul Balls crew as we lost one of our dear friends, Reece Nunnery, who passed away on Monday. Reece had been with us for over 22 years doing this Chasing Foul Balls gig, and we sure go miss him. And sure we enjoyed the time that we had and the opportunities that we had to talk and be around sports with Reece. I'm going to kind of start it with this, guys, and then I'll let y'all jump in and tell us some stories that Reece, because the one thing Reece loved was a good story. Reece was a unique individual, to say the least, but it's in the best kind of way. Reece was one of those guys who knew a lot about a lot of things. A guy sitting around this table, we know a little about little things. Reece knew a lot about a lot of things. And the best part about it, Reece, in his older mid-county way, knew how to shuck it on down to the cob and make you understand what he was talking about.
That was one of his favorite expressions.
Reece loved his family. You didn't have to be around him very long for him to tell you about his wife of 39 years, Miss Terry. He had two sons, Will, and our Chasing Foul Balls partner now, Wes. And he had a surviving sister, Nora, who, by the way, Reece and his buddies helped decorate the yard for the Christmas parade many times.
Until she came to a breaking point.
Yeah, until she finally caught them and red-handed, and they had to admit to it. You didn't have to be around Reece very long to understand that he loved his family. But Reece also loved southern Mississippi. And as he called it, the Harvard of the South. Reece wasn't a talk-the-talk alumnus. Reece was a walk-the-walk Golden Eagle. If I only had $1 for every trip Reece and his Golden Eagle buddies made from Macomb to Hattiesburg, we wouldn't have to worry about money, that's for sure. And as one of his Golden Eagle buddies, Robert Eagle, said, we should think about it this way. RNTTT, Reece Nunnery to the top. Reece loved Liberty, Mississippi, and our mid-county. As my dad told me, Robbie, it's not who you know, it's who knows you that really counts. Reece knew everybody in a mid-county, and everybody in a mid-county knew Mr. Reece. To say the least, Reece loved his sports teams. Liberty Attendance Center, where he set the standard for being a manager for the football team there. Reece loved the Southwest Bears, at that time the Southwest Junior College Bears, where he is in the Hall of Fame, in the Sports Hall of Fame at Southwest. Reece also loved the South Pike Eagles, especially the days that all his buddies was coach at South Pike. His best buddy was there, and they not only was the chief scout for South Pike, but he was the chief spy for South Pike. Most times, people didn't know the difference whether Reece was scouting or spying, but Reece was always there, and he was always doing a good job. His buddy Clarence Morgan, one of his best friends, of course, one of the coaches there at South Pike, along with Greg Wall and the Honey brothers. To say the least, Reece was a loyal Saints fan. From the John Gilliam kickoff return to the final Tyler Shook touchdown pass this year, Reece was a New Orleans Saints fan, bag and all if he had to have it. Reece loved broadcasting. Reece broadcast football and baseball on the radio, and he was darn good at it. He loved his Park Lane Pioneers. That was his team. That's the team that he was the voice of for many years, and he really enjoyed it, and the folks enjoyed him. And finally, Reece loved the Bone Rest Camp out on the Mid River, commonly known as the Bone Rest Golf and Country Club. It was his sanctuary, his spot to get away from it all, recharge it, and get it going again. Now, the Bone Rest was known for their mid-county hoedowns. And boy, did they have some mid-county hoedowns at the Bone Rest Country and Golf Club. All you could drink, all you could eat, all the women you could hug, and all the music you could listen to, plus all the lies you could tell and the stories that you could tell. Every time you'd go out there, Reece would be the guy sitting in the judge's chair, right in the middle of everything, taking everything in and keeping everybody on the go. As one of the folks said on the Facebook page, Reece Nunnery is now chasing foul balls on a better field, and it's no doubt about that. Richard, you was his partner for many years, broadcasting those games. I'll let you go first. Your thoughts on Reece? Give us a quick story on the man Reece Nunnery.
Well, Robbie, first off, I have to say it was you that put us together.
I'm not taking claim for that. Go ahead.
Well, I mentioned to you many times about during you chasing our boys around doing ball that I'd done a little football over at Tylertown. You called one night and said, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this, and you and Reece Nunnery will be working together." Well, I knew Reece from a distance because Will and Wes went to St. Alphonsus school at that time, and it was like immediately we were best of friends, which is one of his great attributes. You met him one time, you just felt like he was one of your best friends for life. We made a many a trips, and we always used to say, and we still do, we can't tell you the scores of all them ball games, but we can tell you about the road trips. And
where you ate. Where you ate.
And where we ate, yeah.
Yeah.
And the one that and this might not be a funny story to anybody that's out there listening, but it's funny to us, and you two guys sitting with me know one of the key players in this. But you had sent us to do a football game down at the North Shore.
Yes, I so well remember.
And we got down there, and all the time we always got ready to go. We had to make sure everything was in the bag with the equipment. And Reece always used to say, make sure that little bitty cord's in there, which connected the radio line to the telephone line back in them days. We get down there, no cord. But we were able to get over to one of the local stations, and they had us a cord. Well, in the meantime, when we pulled into the parking lot, the team hadn't been in the playoffs for 20 years.
You were in Covington?
Yes, Fountainblue High School. And they were playing the Karen Crow Bears. And so we pull up.
With all those names you could pronounce.
Yeah, that's part of the story, too. We get there, and it is a bedlam. There's nowhere to park. We pull up, try to find us a parking place. I was driving. Reece was trying to explain to her the radio crew, and nobody understood what that meant. Well, there's the athletic director. He'll know. We roll the window down. Reece says, we're here to do the football game on the radio. And when he said radio, the next words out of the mouth, you got the check? And Reece said, yeah. He said, you go right over there and park. So we get in the press box. It starts pouring down rain like it's out doing outside. We look down at the bottom of the stands, and I looked at Reece. I said, is that who I think it is? He said, by God, I believe it is. We looked at each other. What is Clawhammer doing at the Fountainblue Karen Crow football game?
He was everywhere.
He made his way up to the press box, which was jam-packed with people now because it's pouring down rain. got his way through the crowd. Hey, Big Daddy, how y'all doing? We had a wonderful conversation. And about that time, the athletic director comes in and tells everybody that's not associated with the press box to get out. And Reece Nunnery, who was already pretty much fed up with all the goings on about, he said, well, I'll be the first one to go. And he looked down and he said, no, sir, you're the only one staying because you're the only one paying. And have we laughed about that over the years, but that's just one of the many, many road trips that we had. And you mentioned the names. Miss Terry taught French at Park Lane. So she went by and gave us an announcement sheet of how to pronounce all the names.
I bet that worked out well.
That is a mid-county French they were using. It's a common language.
So when I looked at the roster immediately, I looked and I said, I bet you number 22 is the running back. His name went all the way across the page. And in the words of our fearless leader, I looked at Reece and I said, I guess he's going to be Chris Jones tonight, huh? He said, yeah. Nobody around here is listening that cares, and we're not broadcasting in Karen Crow. One of the many great stories with my good friend Reece Nunnery.
Mr. Randall, he was with us for 22 years doing this program, and we had years before that we were together. What's your story on Mr. Nunnery, or what about a few comments?
Well, there's some, I can't tell all of them on the air, but
you can't tell most of them on the air. Let's be honest.
What I can say though is, a few minutes ago before we went on the air, you were talking about how many years we'd been doing this, and what I do remember is you and Reece and I had talked about it for a year or two. And then one day we met out at the Days Inn when they still had the buffet with a good chicken pie, which they no longer do. And we
the big day at the Days Inn was every Thursday.
That's right. Well,
that's a chicken pie.
Well, this was a Thursday, and we were waiting on another pan to come out. And
we already ate the one.
And we made a plan for chasing foul balls on a napkin. Now, I'll tell you another quick story about Reece and Wes. Reece loved a game of chance occasionally. He loved to shoot craps. He didn't do it often, but he loved to shoot craps. I'd never done that. I'd heard about it. But he and Wes, they talked me into and twisted my arm and made me ride with them down to the Beau Rivage one day.
Twisted his arm, yeah.
Under the guise of going to see the Shuckers play. Well, we got in there. Oh, we'll show you how. Oh, okay. But I had to use my money. Long story short, I won $150, and I don't know how much they lost. How that happened, no clue.
And did you remind him of it regularly?
Man, not too often, but
because he wanted to go back.
But y'all, Robbie alluded a while ago to the Christmas hijinks there in Liberty the night before the Christmas parade every year, and Reese's younger sister, his surviving sister, lives right there, and she's a pillar of the community.
On Broadway, right down the middle of
Liberty. She's a member of the city board for many years, but it got so bad, the things they did that we can't mention here on the air. She met them with a rifle and wrapped that up.
Our buddy Reece Nunnery, one of a kind, no doubt about it. We loved having him tomorrow. A week from Saturday, September. I'll get it right. January 17th. It'll be the visitors, receiving visitors with the family at 1 o'clock. The celebration of Reece's life at 3 o'clock at Liberty Baptist Church in downtown Liberty, Mississippi. That's next Saturday, not tomorrow. Saturday, September 17th. The receiving will start at 1 o'clock. The celebration of Reece's life at 3. I'm going to hold my story after we do our interviews, and I want to talk about the Saints Super Bowl parade we did.
Oh, boy.
We'll come back. Ron Kessler's in the studio with us. Boy, he got them North Pike Lady Jaguars playing tremendous basketball. We'll talk about that next. Chasing Foul Balls Friday morning here on SuperTalk Pike County. Glad to have you along with us, no doubt about it, on this rainy Friday morning. get the cow fed before the rain got here, Richard?
Well, I got them fed. Didn't get them done before the rain. It was raining early in the morning, and it rained until I left, and was still raining.
Did the cows get a hold of your pants, or what happened?
No, that's where the raincoat ended.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused looking at them pants of a good old farming guy.
Yeah.
Well used, though. I think it's the way we would describe those.
These pants here finally come into style.
You had to keep them a while.
I kept wearing them up.
I understand. Let's talk sports. In the studio with us this morning, the head coach of the Lady Jaguars of North Pike, Coach Rod Kessler. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you having us.
Glad to have you here, boy. I tell you what, a year and a half you've had these Lady Jaguars playing basketball.
Well, I appreciate it. It's North Pike's a great place. It's been a job that through my 21 years of coaching, I've attempted to come here and coach a couple times. It just wasn't the right timing, but God's timing is always the best timing. And so he opened up the door a little over a year and a half ago, and it's been great. We had a great first year last year, going 22-7, making it to the quarterfinals of the 5A state playoffs, and one game away from making it to the big house. And we're hoping to maybe take that one step further this year with this year's team, having majority of our team back this year.
15-4 so far this year, 1-0 in the division. A great start for the Lady Jags. Of course, I reckon if you look the best part for Ron Kessler, the coach, that roster has about 15 players, 2 seniors.
Correct. Yeah, we last year only one senior, this year just 2. Both starters, but the majority of our players are playing majority minutes are juniors. So we will miss those 2 when this season does come to an end, but we have a great group still coming back in the future. The next couple of years looks really bright for North Pike Lady Jags basketball.
Your leading scorer this year, Candace Jordan, averaging about 11.5 a game, just a junior.
Yeah. Cadence Jordan, and Cadence Thompson are both outstanding scorers. Jordan is leading us by just a few points over Thompson. They are both in the top 7 in the state in 3 points. Cadence Jordan is sitting at number 5. Cadence Thompson is sitting at number 7 with 3-pointers made on the season. And that's the entire state, public and private school. If you've been out to see us play in any of our 19 games this year or in the past year, you'll know that we like to shoot it a lot from outside, and that's part of the philosophy. We're not a very big team. We're not an extremely fast team, but we're very methodical and run a lot of sets, and we do spend a lot of time practicing shooting the basketball, and it has paid off for us through the first 2/3 of our season this year so far.
Coach Kessler, Richard, hey, talk about the continuity. You talk about your leadership of your 2 seniors. Obviously, you've got some young ladies that have moved up or come in. What's the biggest difference from maybe the beginning of the season till now that's put you in this position?
Well, unfortunately, we have battled the injury bug this year. One of those 2 seniors has missed the last 6 games. She just came back this past Tuesday for our first district game, but she has been the vocal leader of our team, and when she stepped off the court to deal with an injury, it gave other kids an opportunity, but she basically took the role as assistant coach and was just there and just continues to encourage, teach, and pump up her teammates around her, which she has, and I'm talking about Deasia Hudson, has a phenomenal leadership quality about her. And when she was a junior last year and my first year, we just knew we had 2 amazing years with her helping lead this team. And she is like a second coach on the floor for us. And the girls rally around her, and they listen, and they have done a great job, and we're super excited that she was cleared last week to come back, and she helped us in our first district game against Sumrall the other night. And she and Asia Brumfield will lead this team down the stretch over these next 9 district games, and then hopefully into our South State district tournament, South State, and state playoffs. So it's a great group. The leadership are they're just very vocal, and when you can get 15 girls to kind of buy in on the same page and with the philosophy that the coach has put out there, you have something good there. And it's tough. they need to like each other, and they may not all like each other in the hallways, but when they come into that locker room in that gym, they have to get along, or we're not going to have any success. And the group of girls that we have, they do just that.
The Jaguar Dome has been very kind to the Jaguars this year, undefeated at home, right?
Yeah, we have not lost. I think Max Preps put a little story out there, 11 straight wins at home dating back to last year. So we've played well at home, and we're excited about that streak. And, we need to just make sure, as we are with 9 games remaining on our schedule, all district games, that we take care of business on the road and defend our home court like we have here recently.
Kind of strange to say this to you, but basketball has a rain out tonight. You won't play South Jones on the road like you were scheduled.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We were set to go to Jones County, but Jones County called yesterday, and ADs talked from both schools, and Jones County decided to cancel all activities, after-school activities for all their schools because of the threat of the potential rain. We knew there was some rain coming, but I guess it intensified a little bit more on their end over there, and so we will not play tonight as scheduled. We will look to reschedule that game. It has to be made up as a district game, so we will look to reschedule that sometime in the next week.
And how it shapes up and where you see the big challenges for North Pike is to get a home series. If you in the playoffs, you got to win and you got to do well in your district. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We were fortunate enough last year to be number 2, which gives the top 2 teams in the district get to host the first round of the playoff game. So that is our goal. We want to be 1 or 2 to be able to get that home court advantage in the playoffs. Leading to that point, though, with the reclassification, new numbers, new district alignment this year, we're in year 1 of 2 of that. Laurel Lady Tornadoes has come into our district, and they were in the Coliseum last year, a Final Four team, and they have just revamped and reloaded. And they have 2 Diaper Dandy Dozen, Clarion Ledger Dandy Dozens on their team. Got probably the best player from Quitman High School to come join their team. So they are loaded. They are what everyone in our district is chasing in girls basketball. So we will go there Tuesday. That is our next game with our cancellation tonight. We've switched our attention now to Laurel. They are big inside, 6'3", 6'4" inside. They have some fast guards. They like up-tempo pressure. Several Division I commits on that team. They will present the biggest challenge. After that, you look at Brookhaven. Preston Wilson does an outstanding job at Brookhaven. He has a big team. He has his point guard back who was out with an ACL tear last year. Madison, she's running that team really well. She's come back from injury, doing an outstanding job. They will be probably the next toughest team in our district. Us, them, and Sumrall probably will battle it out, we believe, for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot. And then Natchez and South Jones are in a little bit of a rebuild. They've struggled early in non-district so far this year. With Natchez with 2 wins on the season, South Jones with 3. But in district play, those kids play hard, and anybody on any given night can win. So we would not take lightly if we were going to get to play tonight going over to South Jones. When we make it up, we'll have that same mentality. Next Friday, Natchez comes here to Summit, so we'll get to see them here first at home after we play Laurel on Tuesday. But everybody's chasing Laurel, and that's just it is what it is. You want to stay away from them in the playoffs if possible. So there's going to be some serious thought process when the brackets come out of how you want to, if you're a certain seed, you may not see them till you get to the big house. If you're a certain seed, you might see them in the semifinals before in South State. So there's another ball game when you get to, playing in that postseason run.
But you play that when you get there.
Oh yeah. And we are hosting, I didn't mention this, we are hosting the district tournament this year. So we'll get to play Laurel a 3rd time in our own gym if we're fortunate enough to get to that championship game. So that's a big plus, being able to host on a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday night those 7 schools here in our gym, not having to travel for those 3 nights in a district tournament.
When does Laurel come to North Pike?
Laurel comes to North Pike the 2nd trip. We will go there Tuesday, and they come that is going to be on the 30th. the last regular season game on the 30th. They'll be here. So Friday night, the 30th, Laurel will be in town.
The one thing I was noticing about the numbers for this Lady Jaguar team, you're averaging 48 points a game, but you're getting out to a fast start. The 27-17 has been the basic numbers at halftime. So you had a 10-point halftime lead just to average for the season. Any special reason you feel like you get off to such a good start?
We try to start fast. One of our team goals is to have fast first and third quarters. So they'll start each half fast. We're fresh, obviously. We will extend pressure into the full court early in the game and kind of gauge where our opponent is handling that pressure. The other night against Sumrall, we got out to a 32-12 lead at halftime and played really well in the first half. And then in the second half, we were able to kind of back off a little bit. We got a little bit of foul trouble, so we had to get out of the high pressure situation. And it ended up, we scored, I think, 53 points to finish that. So just, about 21 points there in the second half versus the 32 that we put on the board early. But the fast starts are part of our philosophy, what we want to try to do. We shoot it a lot, and we want to, if we can knock down shots, we are going to score some points.
Coach, you talk about up-tempo, and do you press everywhere all the time to create up-tempo, or once you get the ball on the floor on the rebound, it's two passes and you're in the score zone down on the other end?
Yeah. Offensively, we want to get that box out, finish that defensive possession, and we want to push and we want to run. Defensively, we kind of pick and choose when we press because of our opponent. There are some coaches that just come hell or high water, and that's just their philosophy. That's not me. I look at my opponent and say, hey, how do we match up with them? How's their ball handling? How can we attack them and pick apart? So we did a lot of pressing early in the season in our non-district opponents. We will probably not press as much during this next stretch because the quality of opponent is a little stronger. We scheduled last year. Let me back up. I inherited the schedule as a new coach, inherited the schedule that was prepared previously, and our non-district schedule was not very strong. So we had a goal, Coach Anderson, our boys coach, and myself, to beef up our schedule. We scheduled 2 7A schools, 2 6A schools to beef up the schedule in non-district. So we have beaten Pearl, we've beaten Oak Grove, we had great games with Lawrence County where we beat them both times. So we have really done a better job of trying to prepare ourselves for this time of the season by playing tougher competition in November and December. So I think it's paying dividends. It will pay dividends. We have seen that in the past and in previous places where I have coached. If you play a weak schedule, you're kind of giving yourself a false sense of hope of where you're really at. I mean, somebody could be 17-2 or 17-4 going into district, and you haven't played anybody. So what does that do, for your team? So we wanted to beef it up, and we did, and we played some really good competition. Canton is the number 1 team in 6A, and we played them over the Christmas holiday at the Pearl Christmas Tournament. And Shemaiah Morton, who is a Seton Hall signee, she had 30, 10, and 6 block shots against us. And she's the real deal at 6'3", and we got a taste of it. And it helped us. It will help us because Laurel is big like that. Brookhaven has big girls like that. So we just feel like that is going to be big-time preparation for us in this district run.
Who is the assistant coaches for the Lady Jags? Coach
Anderson, our boys coach, assists me, and I assist him with boys. So we are both head coaches on our teams respectively, and we assist each other.
That work out pretty good?
It works out really good, yeah. We have a lot in common. We think a lot alike. We bounce ideas off each other, practices, games, half-times, timeouts. I trust him, he trusts me. We work really well together, and it's been a pleasure this year and a half to work alongside Coach Anderson.
All right, Ron Kessler, newsbreaker, with us this morning. Do we have the music we can put there? North Pike is announced their new head football coach?
Yes, the North Pike staff got an email last night. We're excited to say that Wes McCullough the interim tag has been taken off of him, and he will be the next head football coach for North Pike.
Didn't know Rod was on break news and sports, but he came in.
You did listen to Chasing Foul Ball. You never know what you're going to hear.
Rod tell you how it is. No doubt about it. So you go again on Tuesday. Make the trip to Laurel to take over the Lady Tornadoes over there, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Girls and boys, like I said, girls are loaded. Boys are tough as well. So it'll be 2 tough games for us. And then we're back here at North Pike on Friday with Natchez.
I got them. Mark my calendar. I want to get there and see the Lady Jags play. No doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Rod, thanks for coming over and being with us. We appreciate it. We'll have you back in as the season starts to wind down and get ready for the playoffs.
That sounds good. We appreciate what you guys do for this area and the sports in our area. Chasing Foul Ball is a great, long-time running, successful program, so keep up the good work and go Jags.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Rod Kessler, the head women's coach out in North Pike. We'll come back. Stephen Willis with Locked On Ole Miss will catch us up on the ball game last night right after this timeout.
Sports. And now sports. You're listening to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming everywhere on the SuperTalk Mississippi app. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank and brought to you by Guy's Pharmacy. Now back to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5.
Well, good Friday morning. Welcome back to Chasing Foul Balls here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. Of course, you can listen on the internet by going to SuperTalk Pike County. You can catch all the podcasts of our previous program, including this one, in just a few minutes after we're through. You can go to Apple, Amazon, or Spotify podcast to be able to listen to it there. Don't forget to join us at our Chasing Foul Balls Facebook page. We try to keep you up to date on what's going on in sports there, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. On the phone with us this morning, from Locked On Ole Miss up in Oxford, Mississippi, Mr. Stephen Willis rejoins us. Stephen, how's your heart rate this morning?
It's pretty tired at the moment. After last night's game, that was a terrific football game. They were able to give Ole Miss was able to give fans 2 games of the playoffs in their last 2 games, and I just hate the way it ended up for them and the way it all went down. But there's nothing to drop your head about in that game. They were ahead of Miami with 30 seconds to go in the game, and that's about, other than winning and going to a national championship, there's nothing necessarily negative about that.
The only thing that had me concerned when I looked at the numbers was the fact that Miami was able to convert on 9 third downs and 2 of 2 on fourth down. So that was 11 opportunities as they kept drives alive. They kept that Ole Miss defense on the field.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. They were the star of that game was the Miami offensive line.
True.
You ended up getting in 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 2, so you had very manageable 3rd and 4th downs to pick up, as opposed to Ole Miss, which typically had long yardage 3rd downs to pick up. Now, credit to Trinidad Chambliss and that Ole Miss team, because once they got a hold on the game, they completely unlocked the Miami defense and started going up and down the field a little bit. But the start of that game, the stuff that went on during the week, all of the chaos around the Ole Miss program, it showed itself at the very beginning of the game with the slow start, uncharacteristic slow start for the Ole Miss Rebels in the first quarter. Once they got back to just playing football, everything was fine. You were able to do what you do, but it was the beginning of the game that Ole Miss fans are so used to seeing Ole Miss come out and take advantage of the defense with their hurry-up, no-tempo. They just weren't able to do it in the first quarter. I think they had 7 plays.
Steve, this is Richard Hay. As I watched the game last night, and the time of possession and the number of 3rd down conversions, and you say all that in the big scope of things, but the Rebels were there. I mean,
yeah.
when Trinidad made a couple plays, and every time you'd look up, Miami's going up and down the field, and you'd look up, well, it's a 3-point game. Ole Miss got ahead with a couple field goals, and you're sitting there thinking like, okay. But I think at some point in time, all that time and all those 3rd down, they finally wore people down. But every time you looked at the scoreboard, it wasn't there.
Yeah, that last drive for Miami, the only thing that could necessarily stop it was Miami running out of time. There was a couple of missed tackles in the first half, and there was a busted coverage. That's probably the reason Ole Miss lost that game. But Miami offensively basically taking advantage of the defensive line and being willing to do it. That's pretty impressive. They were willing to attack the Ole Miss game and the run game and let the play clock go down to 1 second, then do it again and say, hey, I don't think you can stop us. It was a good game plan. It was probably the only way that Miami could win that game, because if Ole Miss played their type of game, they would score 30, 40 points, and it would have been over.
Steven, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say props to Miami on that game, because it really was a good game plan.
Stephen, this is Neil Randall. Glad to have you with us here this morning. My take on the Ole Miss game last night and the Ole Miss season is that this was a tremendous Ole Miss team, a tremendous season, and just the fact that all of the confusion and chaos that swirled around this team for the last month or so, they proved that they are a character group from top to bottom.
Yes, absolutely. It's crazy to think of, because there's two conversations to be had. First off, everybody's disappointed about the game against Miami, which understandable. The second thing is, this was the greatest season potentially in Ole Miss football history. They went through so much. They have so many great storylines. They have potentially the best player in college football, and I will say, if Trinidad can get a waiver for next year, he will be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy. But when you look at it, you have to be able to compartmentalize it a little bit, because, yes, Ole Miss struggled to stop the run, but on the other hand, made it to a national semifinal at Ole Miss. And whenever you were tying Arkansas State in 1986 for homecoming, not a single person thought that you were going to be in a national semifinal.
Stephen, you mentioned, you alluded to Trinidad Chambliss and possibly getting a waiver for an additional year of eligibility. What would you say the odds are of that happening at this point?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's going to get messier before it gets cleaner. But I think in the end he will end up being the starting quarterback at Ole Miss next year.
Wow. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
It was a thing, not only in this game, Stephen, but the Georgia game. I was impressed with the fact of the halftime adjustments that the Ole Miss coaching staff made and how they came out in the second half and started to take charge of the games.
Yes. It helps that nobody talked about it because it's not the sexy thing, but Ole Miss has the best special teams left in the playoff. And Lucas Carnero is an unbelievable kicker. I don't know if I've ever seen a field goal kicker as good as him. And with that happening, if you could just get some stops, allow Miami to kind of self-destruct from time to time, you had a chance to get back in that game, and that's exactly what Ole Miss did.
Steve, this is Richard Hay once again. Another thing about last night's game, I think the time that Kejuan Lacey was out of the football game, I just think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, because he was tremendous early. He was out for that length of time, and he came back in and really made some big plays and gave the Rebels a chance. But that time in the middle of the game when he wasn't a threat on the offensive side, I think really hurt them.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think it's bad luck that he tweaked a hamstring, whatever happened. But when he came back in the game, he definitely made an impact. And that long touchdown run and everything ended up with 11 carries, 111 yards in the game that he really only played 2 quarters in. So you kind of wonder what would happen if he made it the whole game.
A lot of talk about the final play of the game, but if you've watched a lot of football, as you have, Stephen, you're just not going to get that call of pass interference on the final call of the game.
No, and like I said, I tell people, yes, it was pass interference. In no world were you getting a call that was pass interference. It just wasn't going to happen. That game got lost because you busted the coverage in the first half, allowed an easy touchdown, and you missed a tackle where one of your best defensive players had a player 7 yards from the first down sticks, and he somehow got a first down, and that was worth 4 points.
Stephen,
that's why he lost.
Stephen, this is Neil again. I think we have to give kudos to Pete Golding and the staff that was in a state of flux. They just did a tremendous job, and from all indications, very few Ole Miss players thus far have opted for the portal, and I see where a few are wanting to come to Ole Miss. What's your take on Pete Golding and the staff as we have right now?
I like it right now. Whenever you see some people that are being put together, both players and coaches and all that, I'm impressed with Pete Golding. You know, Pete Golding is third all time in the SEC in playoff wins now. That's crazy.
Wow.
So Pete was the right hire. The transfer portal, when you see the players that are coming in, these are starters in SEC teams. There's money flowing from the Growth Collective. This looks more like 2024 transfer portal than 2025. If Trinidad gets his waiver, this is a top 5, top 10 team moving into 2026.
Well, there was no doubt about it, Stephen, one of the more enjoyable seasons that the Ole Miss Rebels have had, and he sure reignited the fan base, I would think, to get behind this team.
Oh, absolutely. You saw there was 70% of that stadium in Glendale, Arizona was Ole Miss fans. It was nuts. They completely took over the Sugar Bowl. People enjoyed this run, and they should have enjoyed this run. It feels like the fan base earned this run a little bit, and we'll see what happens next.
Stephen, thanks for joining us on a hectic Friday morning for you after the ball game. Thanks for being with us this year, and go Rebels.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank y'all.
Stephen Willis, locked on Ole Miss. Make sure you check him out. I've been watching him every day, and he has some great information on what's going on inside the Ole Miss program. We'll come back. We'll start to wrap this week up right after this. Welcome back, Chasing Foul Balls. We're back with you after a couple of weeks off for a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, guys. Nice show.
Yeah, really two really good guests, really smooth operators.
And I want to remind you once again that our buddy Reece Nunnery, the visitors receiving will be 1 o'clock next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday the 17th. The celebration of life will be at 3 o'clock next Saturday. That'll be at Liberty Baptist Church in downtown Liberty, Mississippi.
Liberty, yeah.
One of Reece's places that he loves so much. Real quick, we're running out of time. My favorite story had to be back to when we had a little bet going on one night that if Neil said if the Saints made it to the Super Bowl, that he would push Reece down Main Street,
State Street,
Main Street, in a wheelbarrow. Now, the Saints made it to the Super Bowl. In about 4 days, we put together a parade for the Super Bowl for the Saints. Had people everywhere. Amazing how many people turned out on that one street. The important part was seeing Reece get in the wheelbarrow.
And out.
Now, that was the story of it all. But to watch Neil then push Reece down the street, and you would see stretches where Reece would be rolling in the wheelbarrow by himself because Neil had stopped to talk to some people and let him go. And there goes Reece just rolling down the street in that wheelbarrow. What a day. What a time we've had with our buddy Reece Nunnery.
And it might, I would like to add that our buddy Tony Mullins from over in Franklin County reinforced the wheelbarrow at Reece's request.
And just always remember, we're known as well in Centerville as the Beatles.
That's right. We'll come back next week, 9 o'clock, chasing foul balls. Till then, Reece, we sure miss you.
no stranger to rain. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. You're safely home in the arms of Jesus. Eternal life, my brothers found. A day will come, I know I'll see him in that sacred place on that holy ground. Go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.